All right, welcome to episode 34 of the War Room. We got a good one tonight. Thanks, Pete, for joining us, and Brian for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yep. Thanks for having me, Dustin.
No problem. Thanks, guys. So there's been a lot going on in the Derby world. There's a lot of questions, a lot of talk, a lot of chatter, and Chad Markley got a chance to talk a little bit about some things the other night. And it's time to give some more details, elaborate on exactly what he was talking about, or things that you guys had questions on that maybe Chad didn't answer at the time or didn't get to. With that said, I want to talk. There's going to be a lot of comments in the chat, so if you see a comment, we'll get to it. Just don't have them come in like like they were the other night. It's really hard to keep up and get your guys' questions answered. So we've kind of got a breakdown of questions that people had the other night first off, and then we'll go through that. And then we'll get into your guys' questions. I know there's a lot out there, and I know there's a lot of maybe uneasiness of exactly what this is and who's involved and how it all works. So we're going to get into it. First question, guys. What is D.E.M.O? There's a lot of questions. What's D.E.M.O? What is it? Is it Bristol? Is it D.E.M.O? Is it something that what is it, right? I'll tell you this. It's an organization formed by partnerships between drivers, team owners, fans, and vendors to propel the sport from a grassroots hobby to a nationally recognized combat motorsport. The goal is to move in one direction and reinvest in drivers, teams, and fans by providing opportunities never before seen in the Derby world. Hence, the first big show. This will include bigger payouts, stability, venues, and exposure. Our goal of this is to create superstars. Sports are built on superstars. And what we did, and we'll get into this in a little bit, what we did is we went out and got some superstars, and there's going to be opportunities for other people to be superstars to come in. So that is what D.E.M.O is. What's D.E.M.O to you guys?
Go ahead, Pete.
I could talk for 3 hours about it, but I got to keep it short. D.E.M.O to me is a place where I can perform at the highest level against some of the best competition in the world. And I feel I can get the fairest shake through tech, through everything. No, we're not cherry picking anything. There's going to be people from all over in tech. So there ain't none of that stuff you got to worry about. I just think it's going to do everything for the sport that's been missing for a long time. And we'll get into that later. I got a long talk I'd like to have with people about the D.E.M.O itself. But D.E.M.O is just a place where I think from the little Johnny to the biggest guy in the thing can compete at a level or on a stage that's never been seen before.
Right. Yeah, I agree with all that. What D.E.M.O is meant to do is what we exist in today in terms of the current demolition derby world. And it's been this way for quite a while. It's fractured, it's divided. We see a lot of conflict. We see a lot of drama. And people are begging for some positivity. I think we've been too trained to accept negativity, and that's been too normal for everybody. And D.E.M.O is meant to bring us together as a derby world, to move together in a positive direction, to create a legitimate sport in the eyes of not only the D.E.M.O world, the demolition derby world, but the outside world. There's so many fans out there that we haven't reached yet. And I think this is the best way for us to be able to do that.
Awesome answer, guys. We'll get on to the next one. You guys can throw your comments in. We'll get to them. We just want to go through these questions that maybe people had from the other night. So who is the promoter? This was a big thing. All right. Who's the promoter? What's going on? So I want to make a clear distinction. Like D.E.M.O, what D.E.M.O is and what that first event is at Bristol, two separate things. Okay. D.E.M.O is an organization that the events will be sanctioned under. So there is no promoter anymore. There's no single individual. There's no promoter. It's an organization. And it's an organization of D.E.M.O, which is what I described earlier. It's a bunch of it's a partnerships between drivers, team owners, fans, and vendors. And we have a main goal and an objective, and that's to get out into the motorsports world. So when people keep asking, hey, who's the promoter? What's going on here? The organization is the promoter. It's a collective group of people. Now, of course, there's going to be some people that are leading this thing or seem to be leading this thing, but it's led. I want to be clear that it's led by a group of people that came together and wanted to do something better in the sport and give more opportunities to everyone. And Pete, can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, like I got so much to say, but I got to remember where we're at here. You know, to give opportunities, that's the big thing. The opportunities I see that we can bring to the table, not just for us, not for anything, the whole sport itself. So promoters, other promoters, county fairs, young guns coming up. I mean, there's so many opportunities. If this thing takes off like we think it should, I mean, we're all in a big dream. Will it work? I don't know. I'm hoping, I'm praying. With the support of enough people, I think we can really put this somewhere. So, 5 years down the road, and I'm a team owner, and we're working like NASCAR kind of, and I go bouncing around to county fairs, and I start looking at, this guy and that guy and this guy that's just wheeling the hell out of a car, but then you kind of look at their pits, and they're driving an old rusty Chevy truck, and but they realistically, the talent they have, they should be at the national level. Well, that's something that I can do as a team owner. I can recruit that guy and bring him up to our level. He can use Hansen Motorsports parts. He can have the help. There's just so much we can do to move this sport forward to a new level that nobody's ever seen.
Yeah, Pete, I'm glad you talked about the youth part of this. I think that's a really essential part of this. I mean, a lot of the discussion that we have nowadays with respect to derbying and the progress is being seen over the last couple of years with the amount of youth classes that are offered, the opportunities for youth. It's better than it's ever been in the history of the sport, right? But what we don't talk about is how do we make that sustainable for those youth, in 5-10 years? And if we don't do something now to create a more attainable goal for them, a more realistic opportunity for them, then all we're doing right now is nothing for the future. So, I believe D.E.M.O exists for that very reason, to create that path for these young guns coming in saying, hey, I want to be on that level. I want to be nationally known. It gives you that opportunity to be able to do that. And I'm hoping that through this, we can reach an entire new demographic of young people out there who want to place in Demolition Derby, whether that's as a driver, whether that's as an official, inspector, behind the scenes, in production, in, a myriad of different ways to assist with the sport. We can provide those opportunities or pave that path for them.
This is going to be a big question. How were teams picked? It's Chad made everybody aware the other night. There are teams that were brought in to help lead the way of D.E.M.O. And, I don't want to say that this thing was perfect. I don't know. And Pete and I, we talked. I don't know if there was ever a right way. You try to get everything right. I don't know if there was ever going to be a right way. No one's ever did anything like this and brought this type of group of people together. There's definitely going to be some people that were left out, and especially when the profile changes happened and everyone's kind of unclear of what's going on. But we want to make sure that everyone knows that this is not an exclusive club. This is an inclusive club, and you guys are willing to pay it forward. So I'll go into a little bit of how the teams were picked. Everyone wants to know. Look, it first started if you are willing, capable, and able to invest in what is necessary to propel the sport and brand. D.E.M.O, what D.E.M.O is and why it exists is not to compete in the Demolition Derby world anymore. It's to compete in the motorsports world. So there was certain criteria that really needed to come to the table, and brands. People have built brands in the Derby world already. That played a factor. On-track performance, demographics, build capabilities, social media presence, and the ability and willing to do social media and get out to that outside group definitely played a factor. And again, none of those factors made this 100% right. It wasn't right. There was definitely probably people that should have been contacted that weren't contacted, but they're going to have opportunities to be a part of this in the future. So, that's a big question that everyone wants to know. Hey, how was this chosen? Look, if everyone else, put their minds together, the idea is to get the best teams on the track, and that, and that's what we're trying to do. Pete's trying to do that. Brian's trying to do that. We want the best competition that we could possibly get at Bristol. Simple.
Yeah, I mean, the best is definitely what you want, but as an older generation, like me and Chad and different things like that, I mean, I might be constructing my team, right now for the first show out with some of the baddest guys in the country. But after that, I mean, I let my guys know I got some younger guys that really, I'd like to bring in, and I would like to move them forward and let them be part of, something that we've worked so hard and so, to move, just to be able to do stuff like this is crazy. I'm still trying to wrap my head around when we walked into Bristol that day. I mean, I don't have a word for it. When a driver, I've been in steel buildings across the country. I've been on a dirt track here, there. I've been blacktop, been whatever, but never when you pull into a place like that and you see all that seating, it's like, get a little stage fright. I ain't kidding you. It's gonna be off the hook. It's gonna be wild, and there's definitely, I don't want to leave nobody out of this. This could be something big for everybody. I don't care who you are, what you think you are. If you ain't got no money, there's a possibility. If you work hard at your county fair and you can wheel a car, you could be here.
Yeah, I agree. That's well said. Again, it's about creating an opportunity, and there's this notion out there that people look at themselves as the little guy, and to be honest, I don't even like that term, because that's a self-imposed term. Nobody's calling anybody a little guy. Everybody's important to this, and if you're not known and you want to be, here's an opportunity to get to that stage. If you want to stay in the county fair level and that's your experience, that's the Derby experience you want and enjoy the most, then D.E.M.O is going to do nothing but make that better for you. The impact that D.E.M.O can have across the country at that level is going to just be an incredible opportunity to build that grassroots level up. And I hope people will start to see that as time goes on. It's going to be hard to see right away. But once the momentum gets going with the organization, we'll be able to do specific things to make that a reality.
And that brings us to the next. Go ahead, Pete.
Go ahead, Doug. It says, how does this benefit everybody? I sat back and thought about it for a little bit, but I think what we're trying to really, really do is reach out to the outside of the normal D.E.M.O community by stepping into somebody else's house, which basically is NASCAR. And when we do that, I mean, Bristol's got big screens and big discs, so all through races and stuff throughout the season, we're going to be up there. They're going to be putting us out there. They're going to let us know we're coming, let people know. And I believe what's going to happen is we're going to have people that's maybe never seen a demolition derby. They were a NASCAR fan, and NASCAR ain't been as good as it used to be. And then it picks up and it gets good again, whatever. And the same thing happens with us. But I think when them people start to see, they come and they see it. That's the key. When they come and see it, how can you not like a bunch of guys out there just going at it, going to war? And the stuff we do in the pits to put stuff back together, I think it's going to entertain them enough that when they go back home from wherever they're from, they're going to turn around and look in their phone. Hey, we got demolition derbies around here. And they start looking, and it might be the county fair. It might be that small promoter. It might be that middle of the road promoter. It might be another big promoter. And we start collectively as a group of people. We've just put, could have been 10 people in somebody's stands, or it could be 10,000 in 5 years down the road that we touch that outside world. I mean, that's the benefits I see right now. And plus, like I said, the other benefits is like, bringing as this grows and gets bigger, and if we get the corporate sponsors, we get all this stuff, and the money starts coming in. I'll tell you right now, I ain't got many years left of wrecking cars. My body just ain't going to allow me, but I'll be the first one to sit here and I'll take them young guns and I'll shape them and I'll bring them to victory lane. I've done it in my garage for years. If you know anybody that's come out of my garage over the last 20 years, I've took them from the kid that goes out there and makes one hit to the kid that's out there taking the trophies and the money from everybody, from the compact world all the way up to the big car world in our area, and I've went through probably 15 people in my shop and made them all winners. And it's just a little bit of coaching. There's no cheating. It's just placement of stuff and parts. And it just makes a world of difference if you got somebody there to help you along. And I think I can do that.
Right. No, I agree. I don't have anything else to add to it. That's
well, and Pete, I think there's a lot of guys that are in on this that want to do the same thing. I know Markley has talked about the same thing. He is he's not going to be in the seat forever, but what he would love to do is he'd love to field a team at a big events across the country. It'd be under his guidance, and obviously you guys leading the way. You have a lot of other big players in here, from like the Brodzinskis to, the list goes on and on. Chad mentioned the list the other night. Now I'm sure it'll come out, and then the list that's going to be added to that, that's going to also bring in, their people and kind of foster this growth environment. So how does this benefit everyone? Well, it's an opportunity for everyone. It's an opportunity to be seen by people that we've never been seen by, in the motorsports world. So a lot of people have said like, hey, you're just taking away from the county fairs. To that, I say, the better question is, what are we taking away from the county fairs? I feel like we're only providing opportunity and exposure, like Pete was mentioning, for people to go find Demolition Derby somewhere else. If we can get out to 10, 15, 20,000 people that have never seen a Demolition Derby, they're going to search for it again, because we are that entertaining. We do provide entertainment, and you guys deserve the recognition for all the hard work that everybody has put in through the years.
Right. And that comes also in the form of, providing resources and backing, to those county fair level promoters and on up, being able to go to the negotiation table with county fair boards, to get a fair, more healthy relationship with those fair boards. And there's a lot of fair boards that do a great job, and I don't want to lay a blanket statement on it and say that they're all bad, but there are some that are just not with the times. Payouts haven't gone up in the last 10 to 15 years. Promoters themselves are walking away from events with, no money in their pockets. That's not fair. That's not right. Promoters deserve to reap some benefit for all their hard work. So D.E.M.O is aimed at being a backing power and a voice for you, and getting you marketing and getting you negotiating table power. I mean, there's all kinds of good things that can come from this, from the grassroots level on up.
Yeah, I think another key factor, if we finally get to where, we're on TV or whatever, and the kids are sitting in the living room like they do watch NASCAR with pops or whatever, they see this demolition stuff and, hey, we got that at our county fair. And they start pushing, Dad, let's go get a car and let's wreck a car. There's just so much good that can come out of it. We can add so many more people to our group, not just D.E.M.O. I'm talking the county fair. I'm talking everywhere across the country. It's the biggest thing with this is to get the reach outside of our box. We've been inside of our box so long that and what I've seen over the last 3 years with promoters just beating on each other and setting shows on top of each other and everything, that what we're doing to ourselves, we're just taking that box and we're starting to close the lid, and the daylight's getting dimmer and dimmer in the box. It's not a good feeling. I'm telling you, if we don't do something now, I don't see this sport, self-sustaining with, I know why I don't run a lot of shows, just because I didn't get treated with respect, or I didn't get a fair shake or whatever. And I stick to my guns. I ain't never been back to them shows, and I want to make that. I'm part of this. I'm part of D.E.M.O now, because I believe the bad experiences and all the crap I went through for years with all this, it ain't going to happen here, because I have a say. And there's a lot of other drivers here that have say. So this shit ain't going to happen here. I'll promise you.
Yeah.
Let's get into the next thing. People are like, hey, what's going on? Is this just for the big guys, or what's going on? What classes are going to be available? I saw some other comments in there, and I know they're coming in, and we'll get back to them. I'll search back through. But compacts, guys, we're going to have an entire compact show that hasn't even been talked about yet. Compacts, in my opinion, compacts are some of the most important part of the future of this, and we have to include them. And so there's a whole compact side of this that hasn't even been talked about. So are the compacts going to be involved? Absolutely. Are we going to have one shot deals? Absolutely. Look, if Bristol is super iconic, Pete talked about pulling into that track. It's a one-of-a-kind experience, and we want as many people to have that exact experience as we can. And so we're going to have a ton of one and dones. We're going to have 2 sessions. So essentially every day is going to be 2 sessions. We're going to run a morning session and an evening session. So from 9 a.m. to like 1-ish, or maybe we start at 10 to 1-ish. We're going to try to run 4 one and dones every day, to include the minivan guys, to include the truck guys. Trucks will probably be superstars at night. You know that, Brian. But they're going to be under the lights. You're killing the truck class, but
I'm going to make it happen.
The front wheel drive compact guys, the minivans, everybody's going to have the same stage. So I've heard a lot of even maybe the most wanted fine arts. Maybe we can get that there. I've heard a lot of talk of like, well, you're just leaving the little guy out. Well, like you said, that's a self-imposed term. Okay. We're not using that term. I can guarantee you, Pete, you've walked victory lane at Bristol with the greats. Brian, you walked there. I think Pete might have even put his banner up there already, didn't he?
I don't care. We're winning Bristol, baby. Here we come. Yeah.
So that victory lane's no different than anyone. People are going to be able to experience something that you just can't get anywhere else. When you look around and you see the history there, if you're a NASCAR fan at all, or you're relevant to motorsports at all, you will definitely appreciate that history, from the Earnhardts to the Waltrips to the Terry Labonte stuff to the Kyle Busch domination. I mean, all the way up through the years, you're going to be standing in the exact same victory lane, celebrating with confetti, champagne. You guys know how we do this at the King of Ohio. I mean, we're going to be doing the same stuff down there. So this is inclusive, guys. This is for you. It's very special down there. It is that place just has an aura. When you see that and you're pulling along the highway, depending on which way you come in there, and you look to your right coming off that highway, it's just a beautiful, beautiful place.
Yeah. And it's powerful inside too. The day, we were down there, there was another media thing going on with a truck, an old truck, and he was driving around the track, getting into it and everything. And I'm telling you what, it was loud, it was powerful. And if you can imagine, all those high powered derby cars on the track, the sounds of echoing off the bleachers, it's going to be a sound you've never heard before. And I'm excited for that. Yeah,
you might want to bring your earplugs, to be honest with you.
It's Thunder Valley. It's called Thunder Valley for a reason. It's the last great Coliseum, and what's better than true gladiators in the last great Coliseum? I mean, it's an unbelievable place.
And there you go again, gladiators. All of us in the demolition derby world, that's what we really are. And why not go to a Coliseum? I mean, hell, we ain't never been. I mean, you think about demolition derby, the only thing that's really changed over how many years, I mean, I didn't even know about Den. I come on a little late. I never left the county fairs quick enough, but just to be able to say demolition derby's really not changed much except the parts and the payouts got a little better and we went to little bigger places and stuff, but it's never reached out. It's never, in all these years, it's never reached out. I mean, we got some standalone shows now because guys realize, hey, there's money to be made maybe here or something. I don't know, but they put on these standalones, and you got the Bash for Cash, and you got Blizzard Bash, and you got all these places, and they just, they do well. But I can't believe, and thank God we're doing it, because I mean, I think it's the only way to go to really get recognition for all the hard work that everybody does. It's crazy the amount of work that's gone into these cars, across the country. It's millions of hours. It's just, and the money and the parts and the stuff. And if we can bring this to the public, I mean, yeah, the public sees it, but it ain't the right ones that's seeing it.
And look, there's been plenty of people that have put stuff together, and they definitely deserve recognition from just people, promoters putting their money on the line to put on these big shows. This stuff is not easy. It's definitely not lining your pockets, I can tell you that. And it's there's from TV shows to different things. People have paid it forward. Maybe this is the one that hits. Maybe this is what we needed all along. And that's why we're at Bristol and not another indoor place, because Bristol's special. Bristol brings us into the motorsports world. And that's why we're there. So we'll go through a couple more questions here, and then we'll start getting into your guys' questions. I know they're rolling in.
I think we need to also say that, the premier shows that are out there right now, they've laid the groundwork for this. We want to give credit to that, but at the same time, we want to acknowledge, is that the peak? Is that the pinnacle? Is that all we're willing to do? I think there's such a tremendous potential out there that just is untapped, and people have looked at it as an impossibility, and it's absolutely not. If we just move together, move forward, and do it together, there's no limit. There's just no limit.
Great point, man. Great point.
Yeah, when the Army comes, if the Army's big, you ain't going to stop it.
How can we sign up? I know there's going to be people talking about, hey, how can we sign up? Look, this is, we want anyone to reach out, okay? Especially in these two big classes. We're going to have signups and in the compact classes. So the two big classes and then the compact class, if you're interested in coming down and running, reach out to the demo page, and one of us will get you an answer. And we'll get back to you. But we want to find out who's all interested in coming. You guys know that there we go. You guys know that the two big shows are paying $100,000 to win. And Pete, there's been a lot of questions. Is that guaranteed?
Well, I already said it. If my name, John Rutherford, Chad Markley, Jason Brodzinski, and all these other guys that are lined up in here, my name wouldn't be on this if I know this shit wasn't guaranteed, because I ain't going to ruin my name. I'll promise you that.
Well, there you go, guys. It's those two big classes are $100,000 each. We're calling them a pro and a pro light class because we think they're both top tier classes, and they're really there's a little bit of difference in the build. It's not like it's a weld and a limited weld. It's not like it's like a national and a qualifying. They're just two flat out elite classes, and it's just a pro and a pro light. They're both paying $100,000. So I encourage anyone that's interested to sign up for those two classes, reach out to us. Reach out to the demo page.
And we're going to have a website. So we're working on that right now. That website's, from what I've seen thus far, it's really cool. There's going to be a lot more information to that. So you're going to have the ability to click on links and go find information for signups, for a number of other things. So that's to come. We're developing it right now. So just be a little bit patient with us. There's a lot to do. So
I think that website's coming tomorrow, right? We're going to have
that was the goal. We're going to have a meeting tomorrow to kind of talk about it a little bit more and make sure that we're right, because we want to put out any product that we put out. We want to make sure it's correct. You can do things right, you can do things quickly, or you can do it right quickly, ideally. But we're going to get it right first, and that's the most important thing.
Next question: what are these entry fees going to be? The entry fees are not exact of what they're going to be. Like, we haven't narrowed it down. We're still doing some the thinking behind that. I will tell you that it's going to be relative to the pay. It's $100,000 to win. You can expect to pay what you would expect to pay for $100,000 to win. It's going to be relative. There's a lot of money on the line. It's not going to, I don't think it's going to price anybody out. I don't think it's going to be excessive. But it's going to be in line with what you would expect to run for $100,000.
Right. It should reflect the prestige of the venue. It should mean something. So, again, it's not going to be out of anybody's ability to afford. We want to make it reasonable, but we want to make sure we get those numbers right. So we're going to make sure that we evaluate, numbers and information to make sure that we're doing the right thing for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, like the bigger class, the two bigger classes, I mean, we've talked about it and back and forth and everything else, and we've been debating on what it should be and stuff. And I mean, it ain't no different than buying four tires for a derby car, maybe. You know what I mean? It ain't much more than that for that classes and that level. I mean, the money don't go to Pete Hansen. It don't go to Dustin Woods. It don't go to Brian. It goes in the organization, guys, to make it healthy, and it's going to move the organization forward to prepare for the next big event. There ain't none of us going to take any money out of this thing probably for a while anyways. It's just like a new business starting up, but I don't foresee us taking really anything out of it for a little while. I mean, we're all invested. We're all working forward, and I think Dustin did the right thing and grabbed a bunch of people that was willing to work hard and move forward with something, because one man can't do this. I'll promise you that.
No, I've been saying that for a long time, that one person could never do this, and it just turns out there's a lot of people going to be involved in this, and there's going to be a lot of people coming in the future that are going to be involved in this and play roles and help us row the boat. Just if you're not helping row the boat, we can't get anywhere. So you're just adding weight to the boat. Please help us row the boat. So last thing, guys, it's Bristol, baby.
It is Bristol, baby.
It is Bristol, baby. We're going to be putting out a ton of cool content coming up with that, man. And we're excited. And we haven't really got into the Bristol stuff because this is about D.E.M.O right now. And if you notice, like, why are they not talking about Bristol that much? Is it really happening? All that stuff. Maybe that's where those questions are coming. We want to establish, guys, that we're establishing two things, two major deals here. An organization that is going to sanction events, and the first event just happens to be at Bristol. That's what these two entities are. So the Bristol time, it's coming. It's coming. All that video and all that stuff, it's coming. So let's get into comments. I'm going to go back to the beginning. I think there was all the way back here. You guys see anything you want to hit on? Talked about the compact drivers. So there's been some comments about it being like a super long show and whatnot. Guys, it's not going to be a super long show. It's a 4 versus 4 format all the way down. I mean, there's no bag fest. There's no 2-3 hour features. There's nothing like that. So this is a team show. Team show 4-on-4s. They don't last very long. It's we straight get with the entertainment.
And it's good.
Go ahead.
Oh, there's a good chance it's probably going to be on blacktop. So I imagine that'd pick the pace up a little bit too.
Yeah, that's unique. Matthew says, all current team owners, yes, they bought into this thing. It's a team owner thing, so there is going to be some sponsors involved, and you're going to see some names down in Bristol that are from the motorsports world that have never dabbled in our world, and it's going to be pretty neat. So we'll release those when they come out and in due time, and that's going to be awesome too. We'll keep going. Good stuff.
Well, like you were talking, Dustin, a lot of people are asking, well, how them certain people get picked. And you touched on it a little, but I know you reached out to a pile of people, not just the ones that are here today, that took the chance and believed in it, but a lot of people turned it down, and that might be behind closed doors or whatever, or however, but it wasn't just us select group of people that got chosen. It was put out there to quite a few people, and a lot of people were, they were sketchy. They didn't believe. And, the group that we believe, and we're willing to work hard and push it forward. And there'll be more people. There'll definitely be more people coming on, but there's different avenues for you to get there,
Pete, here's a question for you. This has been asked a lot. Okay, it says, Eric says, D.E.M.O Derby has turned into purely a money sport. How are you guys going to push money back out? People don't want to take a second mortgage out to be able to run on the bigger stage. So, Pete, you've been building these cars for quite a while.
Yes.
How much has the build, how much more does the build cost right now at this moment than it did 10 years ago when Cradles first came out?
Well, relative to Derby, I don't believe. Yeah, the cars have got more, but our economy is what's really hit us. Okay, from the engines, hard to get parts shortages, price increases after COVID's, steel prices through the roof. These things are metal monsters. So, you can go. You look at what junk pays. So you can't even turn around and go buy a compact car, a good compact car. I'm talking, a W body or a Camry. They're selling them now for $1,100-$1,200. I get it. But why do you think the payouts keep moving up to try to offset it? But here's the thing: you have to win to get anything. We've been looking at some different structures of possibility of giving money through every round, and just trying to pay it back, not just the winner wins. Everybody gets a little bit as they go. There's got to be a way to I get it. It's expensive. I have a boat on the lake. That's expensive. Bust out another 1,000. That's what it stands for. I go hunting. Guess what? You go on a hunting trip. It's expensive. You get in the car and you go to Dorney Park, or you go to one of the parks. What's it cost you today from 10 years ago to a park? Go to Disney. It costs you a fortune to do anything today. It's just the norm. And I don't have a real clear answer how you can do anything in Demolition Derby that's going to be cheap.
And to that, I say there's one inevitable thing that's happening in Demolition Derby, and that is the prices of things are going up. They're always going up. And if we don't find a way to get outside money in here to help with our pockets, what are we going to do, guys? So that's a serious question, because this is a serious question, and we take it serious. We don't want you to keep digging into your pockets. The whole reason why Bristol exists and what you guys are doing and all coming together with D.E.M.O is to get some outside money in the pocket. Are in the sport, so you don't keep digging in your pocket deeper and deeper and deeper. We're also showing that with the payouts. Nobody's paid $100,000. Pete,
well, it ain't just. You got to remember, it ain't just 100,000. You ain't touching on second place, third. You ain't touching on everything else.
Oh yeah.
you know, this venue is probably going to be $1 million plus. You know what I mean? I mean, God, you know, with the rentals, the people don't see the big picture. You know what I mean? We're doing something that nobody's. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, Tim Clark spends a boatload of money at Blizzard Bash and Smash It. You know, Sam Williams does the same thing. You know, there's guys out there that are putting out. You know, there's a lot of guys. I mean, their whole show's 100,000. You know, I get it, but we're looking. If we don't do what we're doing right now, the outside corporates, all this stuff that we're chasing after, they ain't gonna look at us. They're gonna be like, these guys are just chumps blowing around. I mean, 100 grand to them is nothing. You know, so we have to put this out there. We're taking a big risk. But the only way we can get any reward, and I'm not talking us, I'm talking the Derby community, everybody involved, everybody that shows up and sets their ass in the seat, the support is what's going to make this go. Other than that, you know what? We failed. We put our heads down and we say, well, we tried. You know, what can we say? You know, the Derby community didn't want us to do it. They didn't want us to do it. You know, they didn't want it to go there. You know, but like that gentleman said, you know, how does you make it so you don't have to take a mortgage out to play at the big leagues? If this thing takes off, you put that guy's name down somewhere, and I promise you I'll get a hold of him and I'll get him on the big stage.
You know, try not to bring negative comments in here, but like I don't.
You can.
Yeah. Well, here
I'm not afraid.
I mean, Jason, I'm just not sure, you know, what the
Jason, you know who brought the money in? Look around you, pal. I'm not gonna get pissy with you. I'm not gonna stoop to your level, but me and everybody else is involved in this. We're not on welfare. We're not on welfare. You take 18 people. Okay, take 18 people, 19 people, 25 people. Maybe there's 30 people. Maybe there's some outside sponsors already there. There's money there. The money's guaranteed. What's it matter?
Yeah, I'm just not sure why these comments, you know, matter.
It's all right. It's all right. It's cool.
Real quick, guys are asking if this is going to be televised or on pay-per-view. I think that's something that's been asked like 10 times.
It'll be on pay-per-view.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't want to go into any more detail on that. It'll be on pay-per-view.
Okay. That's all we need to say. It'll be available to watch.
Yeah, we don't want to get into over-promising. I don't want to get into over-promising, and pay-per-view is where we're going to be.
Okay.
Here's a good one. So Woody Capri says, without risk, there's no reward. You're going to have people who support and hate. Let the hate be your fire and keep doing what you're doing. I'd rather see someone try, do something to make a change than sit back and watch it go to hell. Our sport is in need of something. Is this it? Who knows? If you don't try, we'll never know. I won't repeat the last. Thank you, Woody. Appreciate it, man. And look, hey, we think it's it. We obviously think it's it. That's why we're doing it, you know, and in no way, shape, or form are we saying people can't join us, man. We want you there. We want you.
Right. Like back to Jason, that other Jason about where's the money, blah, blah, blah. I mean, if it's guaranteed, I mean, it's guaranteed. I'm confused at how that even comes up. I mean, why would we entertain? Do you think walking into Bristol and signing the contracts, $10,000? It's big, you know, everything's big. Everything's big. You know, we signed contract, we gave money. It's all that matters. The organization is doing this as a collective group of people. It's not one person. You know, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think any of us in this group has not paid anybody. You know, I got employees. They get paid every Friday. You know, Dustin's had a show for how long? He's had the first show was really not the prettiest thing to ever want to see, but you paid, you know.
Hey, and then we paid the largest first place prize in the country the past 2 years. I want to, you know, the largest, 25,000 and then 26,500. This year we are very close, and this is King of Ohio. We are very close to filling and that's 50K. That's 50K.
Yeah, let's not get off on that. That's what happened the other night. We got off on somewhere else.
We won't do that.
Yeah, we're demo now.
So, any other questions that are coming in? I don't like genuine.
I mean, there's a lot of repeat questions about, how does this help the county fair level?
I answered that.
Yeah, I know. I think we did several times. If you didn't catch it the first time that was discussed, guys, I would suggest, wait till the video is over, go back and rewatch it. And, we try to explain that the best we can. And if we didn't do a good job, please reach out to us and we'll be glad to give you that explanation one-on-one.
There's a lot we can do if we get the traction. I mean, the people that are throwing ice under our tires, it's going to make it hard for us to get traction to get to where we need to go. If you want to change your mind and throw little cinders under my tires and let me get some traction, I can look at a lot of people across this country that I've seen. I mean, I've competed from the top level to the lowest level to, but me personally, we need change, and we need change bad, because what's going on is it's an ugly truth of our sport deteriorating hard. Big thing I see is kids today. I mean, mom and dad, throw your kid out in the yard. Get them off their damn cell phones. Dad, even though the kid's a pain in your ass and he's stealing your tools and throwing them out in the yard and whatever, get them in the garage. Get them doing something, besides being on I got so mad when my one daughter went to kindergarten, they gave her an iPad right out of kindergarten. And I'm not the techie guy. I'm sorry. My wife is, and these two guys here, they're pretty handy. They say stuff to me and I'm clueless. I'm just a derby driver, and, I work with my hands and my back and don't use my mind a lot. I do a little, but not a ton. And I mean, we need more people. That's the bottom line. The more people that sit in the stands across the country is only going to boost this sport to a next level. And if we get reached out and we get on TV, and that little Johnny that's sitting in the living room on a Sunday or a Saturday with his dad and sees this and says, Daddy, I want to do this. There's just so much we can do. I mean, NASCAR's done it. And what we're doing, we're following in their footsteps, exactly what they did and how they got it started. And I'll give you a perfect example of why we don't have more people involved. There's 9 of us on the weld side. Okay. And we sat in a room, and it's 9 grown men. There was more than 9, but 9 grown men, 9 teams sitting in there going over rules. And I'm telling you what, it damn near come to, people were ready to punch each other in the face, because that's 9 guys trying to agree upon stuff. Well, these rules that we come out with are a lot lighter than I ever anticipated. Full weld was originally the name of the class, and we ended up with a light weld. It's less than Blizzard Bash. So these cars are going to bend. There's no doubt in my mind, these cars are going to be junk at the end of the night on both sides. So, and that was the intention. We all gave up what we like and this and that and this and that to put on a show, to show carnage. We need to see carnage. The people need to see carnage. So we're willing to break our stuff, smash our stuff. If we're on blacktop, we're going to be burning up an $800 set of tires or $1,000 set of tires every run. I mean, we're all taking this chance to move this stuff forward. So another thing I wanted to touch on is something the organization's been talking about. So we got the inside teams, and then you got the outside teams. Okay, is there any going to be? There's got to be. I mean, they picked the rules, and no, I'll tell you right now, I'm not happy with the rules, and I guarantee you, if you talk to every one of the other team members, they're really not happy with the rules, because they all lost something. Even Chad Markley lost his front bumper off his car, and I'll tell you what. That damn near somebody got punched in the head when that came out. I mean, this is true. I'm being real. I'm telling you the truth. We all sacrificed, something and everything. But God, I can't wait to bring this to the people out there and to realize that if we had 2 more people in that room doing that, we'd have never got nowhere. It would have never got done. We'd still be fighting and arguing. We're still bickering. We're like a bunch of old women. You know, we're just not, we're getting clarity now, and we're finally realizing it's not about, oh, it's my team or your team or this team or that team's going to be better. Now we're just all going to be even. And the outside teams, when they come in, they're probably going to be a lot better off than we are, because we're holding ourselves to this standard, and we're going to try to hold them to this standard. It's going to be tough to do. I mean, when you come in, something you got to remember, you're going to be signing a contract of some sort to hold you accountable for your actions. So whether your wife or your somebody in your team or your crew or whatever starts a fight or throws a beer can, there's going to be repercussions, and it'll be in the contract. So we're playing at that different level. We can't have that at this level when we're entertaining professional sides like corporates and all that. We have to play the professional part. I'm just as guilty as punching somebody in the face at a derby as anybody else. But I got to learn to just keep and it's hard because our adrenaline's way out of whack when we're in a car, you know, or when our family members watching us and their adrenaline's through the roof and wanting us to win. It's going to be a tough game. It really is. You know, I talked to somebody's wife the other day that I know she likes to throw beer cans and scream and holler and start fights. I said, if you come, I'm putting a gag in your mouth and the handcuffs on you. That's what I told her. You know, it's something we gotta change what we do. And it's going to be hard for all of us to do it. But Tech, all we want for Tech, and to be honest with you, we want guys from around the country. Please bring us your names. We need you to give us your resume. And most of you don't have to, because we know who you are. You know, somehow or another, somebody knows you. I mean, we got people from Canada to Kansas. I had a real good quality guy. 2 people reach out to me today. One is from Missouri and the other one's from Canada, you know. And they got great reputations in the sport. I mean, they're kind of, I don't know if they're retired guys or semi-retired or what. They ain't been in the sport for, you know, a year or 2, but they're very knowledgeable. And it ain't going to benefit me, and it ain't going to benefit anybody else. I'll promise you that. Them guys are going under that lift, and they're not inspecting drivers. We're inspecting cars. That driver shit that I've dealt with for years is gone. That's out the window. You know, whatever car comes in, it gets, and if you get caught, you know, it's going to cost you. If you get caught cheating, I'm pushing this. It's a $5,000 fines for the inside and outside teams. It don't matter, and a year's suspension. You know, because we're gonna have to put. Nobody's ever done that to take somebody. There's, you know, okay, Pete, you cheat, you go to a show, you get loaded. Oh well, you go home, you know, paint the car a different color, go somewhere else. We have to keep this on a fair playing field. I mean, the old days of pinning, plating, cheating, pad welding, we're gonna throw that stuff out the window. We're gonna compete and be competitive. And, you know, I just believe, I think this is what the sport needs. You know, bitching about ramp bumpers. We don't got a ramp bumper. We just got a tube bumper on the back, and we got a regular bumper on the front. The one class got rid of pointies altogether. I tried in our class. Back when I drove without a pointy, you had to drive a car. You get a pointy now, everybody just points and shoots and climbs people and rips the radiators out. It's really not learning how to drive anymore. It's anybody can throw a pointy on the front of their car and just destroy the other guy's front of his car if he's an inch higher. That's another thing we did. We lowered the front of cars. I mean, there's a lot of things we did that, you know, that really needs to be done in the derby world to rein it back. It's just got out of control. You know, can we ever take the expense out of it? Absolutely not. It's too far now that it'll never come back. And I mean, we'd love to see it come back so I could go back to buying $50 Chevy wagons, but, you know, that ain't happening. I just hope everybody gets a little clarity out of this and why we're here and why I'm here. I'm not treating this as a business. I have a business. I have an income. I'm here to do something better for our sport that I love. Man, I've been wrecking cars for 33 years, and I've been in the grandstand since I've been, well, I was born in May, June, July. I was 3 months old sitting in the grandstands of my mom's Arbor with my daddy Derby. And I hate to see this go away. I'd like to keep this. I mean, Casey Smith's another one that with the youth program. I mean, I'm not leaving nobody out of this. I mean, I sit back, I'm friends with Casey, and what he's done with that program is phenomenal. I want them kids. I want them kids where I am in 5, 8 years. But I can do that as a team owner. I can take them kids and bring them to this upper echelon, but we just need people's support. Let's get the corporates. Let's get their money. So we don't use our money anymore. Let me take them kids and make them superstars. I mean, that's what all the other sports do. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many good people in this sport. I mean, you got Mark Elliott doing his thing, and that's such a great thing. And there's really nobody doing anything wrong. Everybody looks at everybody and, oh, that's wrong, this is wrong, that's wrong. Everybody's trying their hardest, guys. Quit beating on everybody. You know, just get up in the morning and be glad you can breathe and you can see and you can hear and you can walk. You know, I guess it trips your trigger to down somebody at every day, but I don't see why. I mean, I could see if they slept with your old lady or something like that, or they really disturbed your life and you have a reason to hate them. But just because, you know, I beat your dad at a derby in Pennsylvania somewhere or whatever, there ain't no reason to be mad at me. You know, we're here because we all love the sport. And if we can help each other move forward, I mean, I see it. I see people negative. I blew my mind to see the negativity. And I get it, because you guys really didn't know. You just thought this was the 1%. The 1% you call us. Well, there's a lot more behind us than 1%. You know, we're going to give her the Brady Larson 110%. I promise you that. And we ain't going to slow down. We just need you guys to keep throwing cinders under our tires so we don't slip. That's all I'm telling you.
And great point, Pete. A lot of great points. I mean, you were on the roll there. We didn't want to interrupt you, so we just let you go. But look, this is bigger than us. It's bigger than every single one of us. It's bigger than Brian. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than Chad, Pete, Rob, Hewer. Just everybody. You know, everybody that's involved. This is about taking our sport and getting it recognized in the motorsports world. That's what it's about. Look, there's like 100 questions on rules here, so I gotta answer the rules. So
well, the rules will be out. Just relax on the rules. Believe me, guys. You don't want to get involved in the rules right yet, because it's just not. It's not finalized. We'll get them finalized. It's a mix between a bunch of places, and it's lighter here and a little heavier there. It's a good set of rules. Believe me.
Yeah, they're unique rule sets, and with some of the best minds, you know, in the Derby world coming together and you know, saying, hey, what worked here, what worked there. So these guys are working that out, and it takes time. I mean, guys, this is a monumental task to make sure that all this is right. We don't want to get it wrong. So give us a little bit of time.
Right. Yeah. And something I want to really touch on. I mean, the 3 guys sitting here on the video camera, we all got people that don't like us, you know, and I've heard this through different people, my friends, the charter owners. You know, I can't believe this guy's, you know, upset, and this guy's upset, and this guy's upset, and this guy's upset. Well, even though if you hate one particular person in this group, well, right now on our weld side and our limited weld, there's guys in there that don't get along, you know, because of something that happened at some point in time in life or whatever, but they're learning to put it somewhere else to better forward the sport. So, you know, there's a lot of guys that talk shit about Dustin. There's a lot of guys that talk shit about me. I mean, I don't really know Brian very well at all. I don't know. Maybe he's that 1% that everybody likes.
Everybody likes him.
Everybody loves me, Pete. Nobody hates me.
Well, I don't know. You got to give me the recipe for that. But, you know, all the outside world, you're more than welcome. You're not outside. You are us. You are part of us. You're no different than any of us. Hate, love, whatever you want to call it. You can make this happen. It ain't just us. We can lead it, but you can sure get behind us and keep throwing the cinders under the tires and make sure we don't slip. And we can listen, because my ears are wide open every day. You know, you can point me in the right direction. You can give me ideas to things that you think can make things better. You know, and I don't care who you are. If you're a nobody, but you've got some good ideas, you know what? You're going to be somebody. I promise you. Everybody's going to be somebody. I can't ever say that word to say you're a nobody, because that don't exist. Everybody is somebody. You just got to figure out who you are and where you fit. It's just like you go to school and you got to figure out where you fit in. You know, what clique, what part, what this. Everybody fits in somewhere. Nobody is ever a nobody. I can't say that. You know, sometimes I say things and I'm like, you dumbass, you know, but I'd love to have, you know, I seen Skinny with the problems. I'd love to have I love all them guys like brothers. I mean, Mark Elliott, Casey, you know, Frankie Guy, you know, all these people. What the fuck is wrong with everybody? You know, I don't get it. You know, take your fucking ego and throw it out the back door. Let's go, guys. Let's go together. We can make something of this sport. You say, bullshit. Fuck you, Pete. Whatever. Sorry, my language, but man, it pisses me off. Not friends with all these guys. And I know who they really are. I know who they truly are, but they can't put their egos aside. You know, I'm willing to put everything aside to move this forward. I mean, I don't care. You know, this don't work. Look at Pete Hansen and say, yeah, retard, I told him. No, I'll take it. I'll take it right here in the chin. And I'll still walk around and still be the same person. And I ain't going to think any different. I don't know what to say to people. I don't know how to reunite the Derby world. I don't. There's no real answer to it.
I think we start by, we don't draw lines, guys. And we haven't drawn lines. It's been a part of what we've said in our internal meetings, right, Brian? I mean, we're not drawing lines with people. We see a lot of lines being drawn. All we are is just setting the standard and saying, hey, look, if you want to be a part of D.E.M.O, this is what you got to do. And this is where we're going. And I know it's frustrating. I see it too. And you know, when you put so much time and effort into something like this for the betterment of the sport, because essentially everybody is willing to just pay it forward. That's what everyone's doing, literally for the first time ever. And not just not just saying that, but physically paying it forward, you know, for opportunities that we've never had. And we just don't draw lines. We're not going to draw lines. We are just going to we're just going to set standards. And if you want to be a part of us and collectively move that direction, you know, that's all we can do, right, Brian? I mean.
Right. You know, and I'm reading through some comments here, and I just want to make sure I touch on some things. So, you know, again, if you guys have come in late or there's any questions you don't feel have been answered, at the end of this, feel free to get a hold of me or any one of us, and we'd be happy to address any of those questions. This is not just for the big guys. This is not keeping out little guys. That distinction doesn't exist in D.E.M.O. Everybody's on the same playing field to us. We want everybody to be a part of it. Rules are coming out. We want to make sure we get them right. Tech personnel, that whole process, we're working on that as we speak. You know, we want to make sure we get it right, and we don't present an unfair perception to the competition, to the nature of the competition. So we got to get that right. Moving into the future, D.E.M.O is not just about Bristol. You know, we want to take this thing into the future to other venues all around the country and partner with all kinds of different exciting places that have never seen Demolition Derby before. And that's the goal, is to be a nationwide sanctioning body for Demolition Derby in the most exciting places we can find.
Yeah, and that's all we can. I mean,
and everything's still going to exist the way it's always existed. It's only going to get better because, like I said, when we reach that outside world, the grandstands everywhere at everybody's show is going to be packed full of people. It's just going to change everything. You know, look at NASCAR. They're putting 140,000 in seats, 500,000 in seats, like crazy numbers. We can do it. We can do it.
It's only impossible if you don't try. I mean, look, that's it. I mean, we're doing everything we can. I've seen some comments in here about maybe some potential celebrity players coming and being involved. I like,
I don't
look, guys,
know.
here's the thing. We're not over promising, okay? And when things are done, you'll hear that they're done. And that's what I'll say about that. So we won't name
It'll
any
take
names.
everybody. It ain't just taking us select group. It takes everybody to support us and keep pushing us forward. You know, if you want to stay back and it does fail, maybe we'll just all point our fingers at you. I'm not that guy, but I'm just saying.
Well, here we got to. Where in the hell has NASCAR ever had 100,000 people in the stands? Well, the Bristol Motor Speedway seats 160,000, and they sold out for 40 straight years. There's
There
one
you
example. So you're right. They didn't have 100,000 there. They had 140,000.
Yeah, whatever it was.
Well, I'm telling you, when you go in there, it's something that I like. I've been to like our local track here an hour and a half away, Pocono, you know, used to party in the infield and all that stuff. And, you know, and that's a big place, you know, but to see, but none of them is ever set up like that one. You know what I mean? And that one, it's a Coliseum setup. I mean, there's seats all the way around the place and they just seem like they go to the moon. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
And it's, one of the special things that I think we're going to be able to do that no one else can do down there is we are going to take a lap. We are going to, before you run your heat, you are going to take a lap at Bristol Motor Speedway. And that
30-degree bank turns.
30-degree. Wait till you get there and you get to walk the track. You're going to take a lap. And Pete, you took a lap in your car. I think we all did, right?
I took a lap in my old Dodge. Yeah, I got a little mutter tires on there. I was a little nervous. I got her up to 70 and hit the corner, and I'm like, you can feel it sucking you right in the seat, the banking. It's if it wasn't getting in trouble, I'd have liked to take about 5 laps to really. I probably would have wrecked my truck though, because I don't know no better. I'm always pushing the limits.
Howie FS on there. We're gonna have trucks, man. I'm just make sure I want to mention you real quick here. We're gonna have trucks down there. We'll get you know, that all figured out in rules too. So
here's, I guess Will's got an issue with us. Paying it forward isn't just something new. I know I personally have spent thousands and thousands of dollars helping the Derby community. I spent over $15K last year of my own money to take a 12-year-old to Pennsylvania for the Youth Nationals with 0 calls from these big name guys, just wanting to know how they can help a kid out. The Derby world is more than propaganda. Okay. What do you got an answer to that?
Well, Will Steinbeck, I met Will. Will's a stand-up good guy. I mean, and I mean, that's what we all need to do. All us guys, if you do have that kind of money laying around and you can help a kid move forward, that's great. It sucks he had to take it out of his personal pocket to be able to do that, but he's a hell of a stand-up guy to do something like that. We're looking elsewhere. We're going to try to find money from the outside like every other sport does. And we ain't going to bring one kid. We'll bring 20 kids. We'll bring 30 kids, you know, because that 12,000 is just a small number of what really where we could head. I mean, somebody told me the other day what one of them played. I don't remember who just sold their TV contract for what, $8 billion or something for the year.
Yeah, it's like I don't know how many years it is, but NASCAR just did like a $6 or $7 billion contract, TV contract. Billion dollars, $6 or $7 billion.
I mean, it's all a dream to us. I mean, we're all dreaming, but
I don't think it needs to be a dream though. I think it needs to be a reality, a goal to reach, and it was achievable by all those other organizations. Why not us? Why not us?
Yeah, would you tell me, Dustin, PBR, how it started?
Well, essentially, that's how this started too. So the story of D.E.M.O is very similar to the story of PBR. And if you guys don't know the story of PBR, PBR got together. So bull riders were known as people that just couldn't be cowboys. Okay, so kind of like Derby guys are known as people that can't race, like in the racing world. Well, that's not true. They kind of got tired of that perception, and just like we're tired of that perception. So in 1992, 20 people got together and put $1,000 and started PBR. And I think it was like 2006. It might have been 16. Okay, but I think it was 2006. They sold that organization for $100 million. So literally within, I think it was 14 years, they created something that wasn't bringing any revenue in. No, very little entertainment, and people that were just looked at as people that couldn't be cowboys, to $100 million, and it's well beyond that today. And that is where this all came from. And I'll be honest, somebody reached out and said, I wish I knew the guy's name. He reached out and said, "Hey man, all the organization stuff that you've been talking about, have you looked into how PBR got started? It sounds very similar." And I started looking into it, and it's like, this is how you do it. You need to go out there and get these drivers to buy into this, right? And become owners of it. And that's how you get this thing to move forward. It's such a unique story. And I hope that someday, if I think it's like the 8-second ride is the PBR movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah, I hope someday people can make that that video on us, on how we started, because you mentioned it with the youth, Pete. I mean, we want people to have careers. We have connections to UNOH. A lot of people don't even know what UNOH is, but like UNOH is a motorsports university that is willing to do a lot of things for us, where people can create careers, where youngsters can go and get an education in the motorsports world, meet all these players. UNOH brings in Travis Pastrana, Cletus, all these big guys, right? And you get to meet them, be beside them, rub shoulders, rub elbows with them, and then see how they got to where they're at. And you can bring that back into our motorsport. Like, there's opportunities here. Like Brian said, I don't know if it's a dream, guys. I think we're putting it together. I don't know if it's a dream.
Yeah. UNOH is a title sponsor of Bristol Motor Speedway. They're painted right on the track out there, and the banners are hanging. And I think that's just incredible.
There's a lot. There's so much out there. There's that we can touch and we can reach. But like I said, always put this in your head. You can try to tear us down, but man, if the Army gets big enough, there ain't no tearing us down, and everybody's going to benefit from it. I mean, everybody. Because like I said, I'm not treating this as a business. I'm not in this for any money whatsoever. I got my own money. I don't need outside money from anywhere else, to be honest with you. And most of these guys that are in this group, some, maybe, could use a little extra, but we all can use extra. I don't care what anybody says, but I'm doing this solely for the sport and what I think I can bring to the table and help and move it forward, or I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be having this conversation with these guys. I just do what I always do and run the shows I want to run. And whenever I feel like running, I'll run, but we signed contracts and we did all this shit that I never thought I'd ever see in Demolition Derby. It's a lot of stuff I'm not kind of comfortable with, I guess you want to call it. But, we took chances and we believed in each other. And I think that's the biggest thing. If we can believe in each other and we can believe in everybody can believe in us, and let us try. That's all I can say is let us try. If we fail, we fail. But if we don't fail, everybody's going to benefit. I don't care who you are. Somebody's going to bet one way or another. I don't care if you're a parts vendor. I don't care who you are. Everybody can benefit from this, because when the big money comes in, every car is going to have a new drive shaft in it. Every car is going to have new ball joints in it. Every car is going to have new tires on it. Every car is going to have new this, new that, new this, new. The engines are only going to get one time run and tore down. It's going to be a whole different demographics, and it could be your son. Your 8-year-old boy that's sitting next to you now while you watch a podcast or something like that. he might be that guy in 10 years or 20 years or whatever. He could be at the top of the world, and you just don't know. There's so much unreached talent out there that we can get to. I've been seeing it in the youth. Like, I didn't realize some of these kids are incredible, absolutely incredible. And we don't want to miss that opportunity. We need them. I've been talking to little Scotty Denovic and Mason Stacy, and them kids right there, they're trying, but they need some better coaching. Just like any team in the country, a little coaching. I think they're going to be our superstars. They're our up and comers. We don't have many up and comers. We got Cam Penwell, we got Cole Teets. We got some young kids that are really going to be superstars that I know of. I mean, I'm just touching base to right here, close to me. But if we can bring them kids up, and so it don't burden the parents so bad. I mean, most of these parents are working, full-time jobs, and then they're doing stuff on the side to help support their kids for their dreams. Well, maybe we can make them dreams happen for them. That's what I'm here for. And people don't understand yet. It's not about me. And I don't believe it's about Dustin. I don't believe it's about Brian. I don't believe it's about any of us solely in the group. It's just for the sport and what we can do to move it forward.
Yeah. Hey, did we answer the question on tech, guys? They keep asking.
Yeah. What we want, guys around the country, if you think you're qualified enough, there's going to be criterias. You can't be a hothead. You got to keep your cool, even if somebody's trying to, tear you down or make you look like you're a retard. Them two things, you got to have the know-how and the ability of the cars. You got to have, I want to know the guy that has built most of these cars that's on this field, so they know them. There's going to be criteria. You're going to have to be part of this. So if you think you fit into this program, but we need techs for everybody. We need the compact guys. We need techs. But I mean, the main techs for the head classes, the headliner classes, which is compact too. I mean, the three teams, we need them. And I don't care who they are, as long as they qualify. And I got some on deck that I'm thinking of. I mean, that I've dealt with over the years that I think are very qualified. That if they don't run, if they don't run Bristol, I'm going to try to round them up. I'm going to lasso them. I'm going to drag them there if I can, and I imagine other guys on the charters and teams and stuff. And even if you're an outside team coming in, if you got somebody, I don't care if it's from your team, if they're qualified and I know they can do a fair inspection and they ain't only looking at a car. You never look at the driver. I don't care if you hate the guy. I don't care. You have to qualify. That's the biggest thing. So if that's what you're worried about, tech's going to be people from all over, I would imagine.
And I can assure you that it's going to be like an independent third party here. And I can assure you that these guys right here, finding out who the tech is, or choosing who the tech's going to be, I can assure you they're holding each other accountable, because you got Markley thinking, I guarantee you Markley, Creetlow, Kings, Dakota Hayes, Kinman, Brodzinski, Kunkel, and Toast, they're all thinking, I want Pete's car inspected, okay? And Pete's thinking, I want their car inspected, okay? Because, that's what's good about this. And I know people are going to play on, oh, well, you guys, no, this is an independent third-party organization, and we're really going to do some work to put together the best tech. But you guys are going to ensure it, because you're like, wait a second, that guy's too close to that team. I can't have that. You know what I'm saying? It's already started. So we're going to have a really good tech team, to take these cars, because everybody wants the other team inspected just how they're getting inspected. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Couple other things. Brian, you were going to ask. There's a county fair thing that you were going to ask that people keep tagging me in. You were going to bring that up.
Yeah, there was a post that was kind of made aware to me about people suggesting that you, Dustin, yourself are against county fairs and want to see them go away. And I try to answer that question that those people had by just saying there's some context missing here with the comment, and I just wanted you to know about it and give you a chance, Dustin, to respond to that and maybe provide some clarity for that.
Yeah, so there's like a message going around, and it's talking about county fairs and how there's essentially too many county fairs. I think Don Santel and Scotty and those guys were talking about it last night. There's just too many derbies, and it is watered down. What we're talking about with the county fairs, when we say, hey, look, county fairs are an issue, people take that and they take that out of context because they're not listening to the follow-up statements. When we say county fairs are an issue, what we mean by that is when county fairs are packing your grandstands full of 5,000 people and paying you guys $1,000, that's an issue. We want to create an environment in which there is money every time there's a derby, in which there is money going back to further the cause of demolition derby, so further the sport. Never before has there ever been any event that has existed that says, hey, look, what are the interests of demolition derby? Is it, well, we're running out of cars, we need to buy cars? Is it we need better facilities? Is it this? Is it that? We've never had that luxury as an organization to do that. So when we talk about the county fairs, we would like them to get involved. We want to make them healthy, or keep them healthy, just like we want to make our own sport healthy. So to have a better business or working relationship is all we're after there. So it gets taken out of context a little bit, but we just want a healthy relationship. We want you guys to get paid more at the county fairs, independent of D.E.M.O, independent of anything. Payouts should be going up at county fairs. And look, there are plenty of county fairs that are stepping up to the plate, and you're seeing that. But we got to talk about it because it puts a little pressure on them to compete with the surrounding counties. You can't have 5,000 people in the stands bringing in $100,000, and pocketing 80 of it. We want a better relationship, and that doesn't mean that it has to go here. That just means for the drivers that day performing on the track. So that gets taken out of context a lot, but that's what we mean.
Right. And I think at the end of the day, what people need to understand with D.E.M.O is that, there's no hidden agenda. There's no complicated or murky or dishonest intention behind it. We simply want to create a better environment for everybody across the board. And, we only do that together. I mean, we have a start, but we're not a finished product. And, it's going to take, outside support to get to that point. And we need everybody to help, like you said, row the boat.
Yeah, something I wanted to touch on too is, we're all coming up with these cool ideas and all this ideas. And this is an idea I had, and I think I talked with a couple of people. What we need to do is find a way to bring guys up. That's going to be the next question. Well, how do, like Blizzard Bash, they set it up and they had qualifiers come in. I'm thinking we go a different route. Maybe we pick other promoters, and we sanction D.E.M.O. That might be that promoter ain't got his name on it, but D.E.M.O puts it on or whatever, kind of like, and we go in there and we run 3 or 4 team shows a year with, what do you call it? Underclassmen or whatever you want to call it. So you got to have this record of, you build teams, let these guys build teams, but you can't have me on them. You can't have these guys that's well known for winning derbies all over the country. And we run these at other promoter shows. And, at the end of the season, the highest place in one, that performed the best gets to come up, on the high side, if they can't, if can't afford to come up or whatever, and we can help them come up. There's a lot of things we can do that I see that can really benefit, and that's dropping us into other promoters' laps.
Absolutely. I mean, Pete, listen, I get to talk to you guys all the time, so I get a little bit spoiled in all your guys' ideas and where you guys see your different teams going. But it is really fun to see like what you guys are doing. Like it is interesting to see the thought process, how you're going to build this out. I mean, Pete, you're already talking about how you're going to develop people in different teams and then bring them up when they perform, how you're going to go out to county fairs and start finding the talent out there. I mean, it's really cool to hear within our sport.
That's what we got to do. I mean, it's not about me no more. I did my years of wrecking, 33 years, and my body's starting to tell me, it's about time. But if I can stay involved and move people up to where I've worked so hard to get to, and I can get them there a little easier, and and not work 16 hours a day for 7 days a week like I have to have the extra money to go do this. And everybody's saying, oh, it must be nice. Well, if I can grab somebody and bring them on, and move them on up, or a half a dozen and move them on up. But that's another thing. My team ain't going to be structured of just solid 4 people. I'd like to have the minimum of 7 drivers right now going into Bristol, because we roll into Bristol and God forbid somebody gets hurt in the pits. One of my drivers gets hurt in the pits, or, gets hurt on the track. I mean, I want to push this too, amongst our group we haven't talked about this, but, if one of our drivers gets hurt on the track we're here to put on entertainment for the people. So I'd like to take one of my drivers, that's standing around there helping, and throw him in that guy's car, whether it's mine or whoever, and get him back out there, and the cool thing about this team aspect and my mindset is whatever mine is yours. If I have extra, it's yours. You can have it. You need a motor, here it is, moving on to the next show. And everybody's got families and everybody's got lives. And, the first year or two, we're going to be digging out of our pockets and doing like we always do to go to a normal derby. And, I don't want to tell my guys that, hey, you got to build, we got 3 shows on deck for next year. You got to build 3 cars. Now I want to switch it up. I want to take this driver and this driver, and give everybody time to have time with their family. I don't want to strap anybody down. I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to run at this, these platforms that we're setting forth, and it just, and another thing, well, what's Dustin part of this? He's our series organizer. Basically, he sets up all the venues. He does all that stuff that we don't want to do. Basically, he's the talker. He's the salesman. He does all the contract stuff with the speedways, and I mean that's his job. And he organizes all this stuff and all this podcast stuff, and well, he's a big help. I'll tell you that. I mean, we can build cars and put on a show, but without him, we can't make it happen.
Well, and look, I appreciate that, but I mean, I just do all the thankless work on the back end, and Brian does too, and there's a couple other people that are making all this happen on the back end. Trust me, we would love to be derbying right along with you guys. Pete, you alluded to a couple things I wanted to talk about, making superstars in the sport, and how like at these shows, at these demo shows, when you become a fan of Pete Hansen, Chad Markley, Jordan Rutherford, John Rutherford, those types of people, Rob Hewer, Jason Dials. I mean, you go on and on. Rick Clark, the Eatons, Allens, all these guys, right? They're going to start to develop fans of you guys. Well, they're going to know for the first time where they're going to see you, where they can find you. Hey, I'm a huge fan of Pete Hansen. All right, where can I get that apparel? And where is his team performing, or where is he performing? You're going to know that every demo show that comes out. Teddy, he's another one that just popped up in the comments. Like, you're going to know that these guys are performing at demo shows. And I just think that is incredible, because I mean, I don't know about you guys, but a lot of times I go based on the driver's list. I mean, I go to shows based on who's there, and I want to see them perform because I'm a huge fan of you guys. Hey, Teddy.
Yeah. I mean, for me, that's the same thing, Dustin. When I choose to go to a show, I'm like, who's the who's who that's going to be there? I want to see the guys who have put it on the line, for so many years and have made such big names for themselves through the accomplishments on the track. And I want to see it in person. And I've gotten a chance to do that, and I love it. And I want everybody else to have that chance too. And what bigger conglomerate of talent has there ever been put together than right here in front of us? And I've never seen it before, and it's amazing.
I mean, there is so much talent across the country. I mean, the tags out of California, there's just so much that's just out there that could be, I'd love to see everybody, but I wish there was enough room to stick them all in one little pocket and let them just tear shit up. But we know singles don't work. We can't do singles, guys. We all suck at it. I'm a bagger. You're a bagger. We're all baggers when it comes right down to singles. We all want to win. It don't matter who it is. We got to keep this team show going. It's the only way you get, it's wide open fist fight. It's UFC times 4 or times 8, really. It's just crazy. It's gladiators, man. We're gladiators, and we gotta be able to do what we do, and we need outside support. Our inside support's just weaning away, and it's getting so expensive to do, and everybody's trying to do this and the waffles and this to make extra money. And you see this new guy getting parts, making it to support his hobby, and everybody's working so much harder to do his hobby, and I had the one young kid that works for me. He says, Pete, this ain't a sport. He says, it's a hobby. He says, they don't have no organization. Organizations have any sport that's out there that's considered a sport has an organization. Well, it was pretty cool to become part of this and be able to come back. And I looked at him. I says, you're wrong now, partner. I said, we're now a sport.
Yeah.
And part of being a sport means you get the superstar matchups. I mean, Pete, not to put you on the spot, but you draw Jason Brodzinski's team first round. Who's winning?
He ain't got a chance. He can't move fast enough.
All right, Markley's waiting for you second round.
He's old. He's slow too. Everybody watches my cars. They're faster than them.
Yep.
I'm going to punch them 3 times before they even think about punching me once.
Exactly. So these superstars type matchups, like we want you guys to go at it. We want to see you guys on this stage. I know it's going to get competitive with this group. I mean, we're just joking around now, but I'm telling you right now, when we pull into Bristol, shit is going to get real serious. And all these guys are going to be winning. It's not just you guys. It's all the guys that are going to be joining us, to fill the show. I mean, it's going to get real serious, and it's going to get intense, and we're going to have plenty of cameras there to capture all that. So Pete can say, I told you so, or maybe somebody can, or maybe Chad waves that white glove at you.
There it is.
It'll probably be covered with a little bit of poop.
the lane frost wave out the window with the white glove.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the signature thing. I'll be wearing my green Carhartt. I'll promise you.
What's going to be your reaction if he gives you the old white glove?
Yeah, if he's giving the white glove, I'm in trouble. Because usually when he waves the white glove, that guy's in trouble.
Yeah, he's already probably done at that point.
And I'll have to eat crow that day. I'll have to eat crow for sure. But as we go on, I'll guarantee he's going to eat crow. I'm going to eat crow, and it'll go back and forth, and we'll still get out and we'll shake hands and give each other hugs and sit down and have a beer and just enjoy life and enjoy what we do. That's the positives of it.
And we'll all get to sit back and enjoy it, man. I'm super excited for it. Last couple things to wrap this up. Look, I appreciate everyone for getting on tonight, and for getting on Chad's live the other night. There was I think there was 800-900 people on his live the other night. It looks like we got up to 300 or 400 tonight. So that's pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of interest in this show. Thank you guys for listening to us. and hearing us out and being patient. You know, I know there was a lot thrown at you earlier in the week, and you know, all the profile picture changes and all that. It definitely made a wave. But we want to assure you guys that this is not an exclusive club, that you guys are invited here, and we want you to play on this stage that we're playing on. And you know, so thank everybody. Thank you guys for getting on. Thank Brian. Thank you for everything you do on the back end. And Pete, thank you for being a part of it, man, and coming on here and being a face of D.E.M.O.
Well, I'm just excited to be part of this, and I just hope we can get enough people throwing cinders under our tires so we can get up over this icy hill that we've been slipping on for 40, 50 years. I think we can do it. I really do. Just everybody's got to come behind us, you know, support us and move us forward. Send us some ideas. But one big key thing, guys, if you want to run this for D.E.M.O, you have to start sending some stuff in on the D.E.M.O organization page. There's a lot of spots going to be open quick, and I mean, I don't know if they're going to last. Maybe they'll last. Maybe nobody will sign up. You know, whatever. I don't know. But anyways, they're out there. They're going to be coming. So tech guys, same thing. Get your names in the hat so we can go through this. The quicker you guys are in here, the quicker we can get this all set up. Same thing with the rest of them. I mean, like you said, there's going to be trucks. There's going to be this. There's going to be vans. There's going to be, hopefully we got Jason Sowers' class here. I mean, that'll be great too. I mean, nice part about that, we ain't got to really tech much. You know, that's an easy one.
Yeah.
That's an easy one. Because you know what? That's the guy that can go get a $150 car and come enjoy what, you know, we've putting forward. You know, what we're bringing to the people to be able to come into Bristol Motor Speedway, just iconic, you know. And with everybody's support and everybody's help, we can just get bigger and bigger and bigger and just keep growing. And even that little guy can still can come show his face. You know what I mean? We're not leaving nobody behind. You know.
Right. And the last thing I'll say is, you know, guys, you know, it's okay to be skeptical. It's okay to ask questions. You know, that's a perfectly healthy mindset to have. You know, reach out to us, ask us questions. Don't assume anything. You know, if we don't know, we're gonna find out. We're gonna get you the right answer and the right information. We want to be here to help. We want to be here to help ease minds and provide clarity for you. So just reach out and ask questions. We're more than willing to help you.
Yeah, and if we took 50 teams, there wouldn't be no place for the smaller guys. You know, and we can't do that. We have to keeps just a few superstars and then the upcoming superstars.
Yeah, and that's true, Pete. Like if we were to keep or if we were to do 50 teams, that'd be hard. That'd be hard to make sure that everybody is getting a share of the platform. So
right.
But if you're interested, reach out. I just put the link in here, the Facebook profile link. I don't know if you guys can click on that, but if you can, like, share, follow our stuff on Demolition Entertainment Motorsports Organization. And again, thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it, and thank you guys again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you later.